Are you worrying each time that you have a decision to make for your business? When things go sideways, do you have a way to shift and try again? Are you listening to too many gurus out there telling you different ways to run your God-centered business? And are you trying to attain something that just always seems a little bit out of reach? If you said yes to any of these questions or all of these questions, I want to invite you to stick around as we look at a very simple answer to each one of these questions. Your business plan, and how by understanding and using your simple business plan, one page, you can monetize your genius in the way that God designed. Hey there, wise woman. Today on the Truth in Business Show, Mary and I are going to tackle these questions, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into what you might be actually feeling. Then we're going to go over all the parts of the business plan that when you have one, it addresses each one of these questions. This is DeneenTB.
And I'm Mary Allure.
Join us as we look at the elements of a one-page simple business plan, a plan to help you succeed. Oh, this is going to be so good.
It's good. It's good. And it's simple. So Deneen, I know you've helped me with my business, and I've watched you help hundreds of other women answer these very questions and create a business plan so they can have a simplified, that's our word, and prosperous business too.
Thank you so much, Mary. This is something that I really, really like. I think in 2020, my word of the year was simplify, and God really showed us all how to simplify.
Oh my gosh, is that the truth?
But when we can simplify the business plan, that is going to make it easier for us to make those decisions in our business and continue making good decisions, good choices. I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Tough, yes.
But before we get into these questions today and talk about the business plan, I just want to remind everybody to please subscribe to the channel if you're watching here on YouTube. And if you're listening, make sure to follow us right away, give us that 5-star rating, and share the episode. So let's get into creating a business plan, right?
Yes. Well, the first place we need to start is to really figure out what a business plan really is. All the elements and parts that make up a business plan. So here are a few things you need to know. The problem you solve, and specifically who you solve it for.
I like that word, specifically,
very specifically.
Yeah.
You need to know your solution and the unique way that you solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
The unfair advantage you have, the thing that you do in your business that is hard to copy.
Yeah, we call that sometimes the UVP, right? Unique value proposition.
Mm-hmm. And it's so easy to copy nowadays. Yes. So it has to be so unique that they can't.
Yes.
Who is already following you, and how are you reaching your potential clients? And what you use to measure how you know how your business is doing. What are your measurables?
Mm-hmm.
And
KPIs, right? Yes, and officially they're called KPIs.
Yeah. And also, who else is in your space? Who is solving this problem, but probably in a different way?
That's the competition. Who's out there? Who's your competition?
Yeah. And understanding your costs and sources of income.
Yeah, it's quite a list. I mean, there's 7 things there, and there's some variable things inside of some of those. And that's quite a list. And it represents really the work you have to do to know how your business is going to proceed. I think a lot of times people have this idea that, I'll just get started and everybody will come. I don't know how many people that come into my Facebook group, my big one, saying, what's your challenge right now? And they're like, getting clients. It's like,
I know.
But have you done all of this work to create the business plan? Because in creating the business plan, you would know where to go to find those clients. You would know how to connect with them. And so I think that's why it's really important that we're talking about these questions, these answers to these questions through a business plan, because it really helps to give you focus. So how do you think someone finds out each of these things, Mary?
Well, I think you said it. You got to do the work. I mean, you really have to dive into all of these elements. Look at who you are, how God designed you, and how you can create a business that has you working in your genius zone.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
think that's the thing. We think we have to strain and strive. And yes, there are things in our business that we might not like doing or might not be the
right.
best at doing. And at first, we're a solopreneur and those kinds of things.
Yeah,
But if you know what your genius is, you should be doing everything possible to try to get to that genius place and
right.
delegate all those other things as fast as possible. Because I think when you're confident that you know each of these parts of your business, then that's when you can feel like you're monetizing your genius and you're not feeling like you're just doing something that doesn't have any meaning and it's really not helping the people that you want to help in the way that you want to help them. You're not worried anymore because you have a plan and every aspect of your business you've actually thought through it. So I think you can move forward with confidence, or as I like to
Yes.
say, Godfidence, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about these pieces of our one-page business plan a little bit more so that we can let people know like how we're going to answer those questions and how that by the time we get to the questions, you'll be able to see hopefully the connection of having the business plan. You go, oh, I know that answer. So here we go.
Right.
So the
Right.
first thing you said was the what problem do you solve and how are others already solving it? We have to do the research, right? So you have to understand what it is you want to do to help someone. We have a tool in Calling Clarity that we call the Overcomer tool, because a lot of times the business that we do, and I don't know if you've found this too, Mary, the businesses that we choose to do is because we see a problem that we know we can solve because it was a problem that we've
Right.
overcome
That we've
already.
overcome.
Right.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
we see somebody and that our heart kind of breaks for that. And we have ways to talk to those potential clients. We have a template. We call it our ICA, ideal client avatars,
Right.
questions. And we have ways to help people talk to people, because if we have this thing in our head and we never talk to anybody,
I
we
know.
don't know what they want.
We don't know. You have to do the research and ask people questions like, do they really want this? You may think it's a great idea, but maybe other people don't.
Right, right. So we have to
Yeah.
start with what are you going to do and how, what are you going to do? You're going to do something that's going to give you motivation because it's a passion in your heart.
Right, right. And the next thing is, talking about ideal clients is really knowing who they are and how many potential clients do you already have in your following or in your area, your
Mhm.
zone, whatever you want to call it. And a question that I always ask is how many people do you have on your email list?
Mhm.
And I don't care if it's 10 or none, but we got to talk about starting to grow it from scratch
Yeah, because
and
people have to
building it.
remember that social media can go away tomorrow, and
Yeah,
you don't own any a part of that unless you're the person who owns it. But we're not. I'm not. You're not.
yeah,
But we do own our own email list. So if we can get people to pay attention to us, that's what I think the ICA questions that we have and getting people to talk to us is really so important. And even if you do have an email list and you're transitioning or changing into another type of business, there may be some people on your email list that will come
yeah,
along for this part of your iteration. So,
absolutely.
you know, and you really do have to know, in order to build that tribe, that following, you really do have to know your marketing channels based on who they are. Where are you reaching out to them, and how are you building relationships? I know that recently we're recording in the month of November, and this month I have a blog that came out, and the title was Your Email List, Your Secret Relationship Marketing and Big ROIs for Your Faith-Driven Business. So if you all, we'll put that into the description so you all
Yeah,
can connect to that as well and read that. But really, it is about relationship marketing, and you can do that so well through your email list
I
more
know.
than just putting out things on social media.
I know, because you're actually showing up in their inbox, which no algorithm is going to take away your email from showing up in their inbox. So you have a lot more control on building those relationships.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's what I think, that's the Bible and biblical principles for business is, that's what God says. We are wired for community, we're wired for relationships, and that's how we should be approaching our marketing.
right, right. And the next thing is, I think a lot of business owners forget to mention this many times is, what is their solution to the problem? And how does it benefit them? I mean, people want to know what's in it for them. I
I
mean,
know, it
let's
is
be
so true.
honest.
It is so true. And I think what people do is they, especially on social media, this is what I see. They put out flowers and inspiration and
Yeah,
they just, oh, everybody will think I'm so beautiful and wonderful. And
right,
they never tell them, like, this is the pain you're having. This is how I can fix your pain. And we call that valuable content, and we teach valuable content.
right.
And I think a lot of times also what I see is, and you've heard me say this 100 times, the billboard that tells you all the bells and whistles, all the features of what their business is, and not what's in it for them, what the benefits are
Right.
for the client. And I think that you really have to think through that, because we can get stuck on, well, I have 10 lessons, and inside of each lesson, there'll be this and then this, and we'll meet once a week and blah, blah, blah. They don't care. They don't
Right.
care what the structure, what the feature is. They care more about how is it going to help them. And I was reminded of this just this week. And I've been doing a lot of journaling and brainstorming and asking God, how do we bring people into calling clarity? What is it that is going to bring them in? I can tell you we have this and this and this and this and this, but I've got to let them know why that's going to benefit their business, kind of thing,
Right.
right?
Right. Yep.
Okay, so another element that we have, or maybe two, of what we need to work through for this business plan is, first of all, how is your solution unique from those that are already in the marketplace? How is that reflective of how God created you? This is a lot of the work that we do. And
Mm-hmm.
second, what is that unfair advantage that you have over the competition, the UVP, that thing that is really hard for other people to copy? Now, Mary, we're reading a book right now in the community, because we have a book club, and I'm almost finished it already, but even though we're not having it until the discussion until January
Oh,
of
wow. I'm
2024.
behind.
uh, it's a short book. It's called Purple Cow by Seth Godin. And so he talks about being remarkable. And I think that's what I've been brainstorming. Like, how can our community be remarkable? What does a remarkable community look like? And
Hmm.
how what we are doing, making it remarkable? What is our unfair advantage over other communities that are for Christian women entrepreneurs and business owners, right? So
Right.
and every time I'm listening to it, I'm going, oh, that's what the Blue Ocean book says.
Right.
uh I don't know, do you think everyone knows about Blue Ocean? Should we
I
kind of
don't,
talk about it?
I think we should a little bit because it's been a while. It's been a
Yeah.
while that it's been out.
Okay,
So
so the
yeah.
thing is with the Blue Ocean, we have to think, all right, we have to look at our competition. We're not comping our competition, but competition is the red ocean, where everybody's like bloodthirsty and
Right.
all
Blood
of
in the
that kind of stuff.
water.
Right. And what you want to do is you want to be remarkable. You want to be the purple cow. You want to rise above and get to the blue ocean where nobody's with you, because you're the only one. You're the unicorn, so to speak, right?
Right.
In your industry. And it doesn't mean that you do a one and done either. It means you have to continually be like innovating and being like, what's the best thing? What's the next best thing we can do? What's the next best thing? So you're really creating your market in your industry that's really uncontested, because nobody else is there. And so
Right.
that's really what's cool. So it's a unique way to solve a problem using your creative methods, your specific, and specific is the key word here, ideal clients. And these are the ways that you can get out of the red ocean and into that blue ocean of originality, into your genius. And that's what we like to help people do
Right.
inside of the community is figure that out for themselves.
Right. So I know you have to know your competition, but more importantly, you need to know how to, rise above them in your unique way and kind of
Mm-hmm.
create your own market.
Yeah, yeah. And there's lots of different examples. I know in the Purple Cow, he was giving some examples yesterday, and they're escaping me right now. But the one in the Blue Ocean book is the one about circuses, and that's the one I
Oh,
remember the
yeah.
best, the
Yeah.
circus. So the circuses were all the same. They were like Barnum Bailey. They all had three rings, they all had animals, they all had acrobats, and it was about the show. And what happened was everybody modeled after that, all had popcorn and hot dogs or whatever. So what you get in the red ocean there, if every circus is the same, you get competition for who can be the cheapest, who can be, they comes to money. But when
Right.
you think differently, like Cirque du Soleil is the blue
Exactly.
ocean there. They decided to have people who were acrobats that were the famous acrobats, like they were known for their acrobatic deeds and all of these kinds of things, and they made it into a whole experience of the music and the ahs
Yes.
and the oohs, and they made it exclusive, so they made it more expensive and people paid it. So these are the types of things that we always have to think, and we've got charts and we've got ways to do this, but that you have to think, what is setting me apart from
Right.
everybody else? And that takes
Right.
us to the next one, is like, how will I deliver this solution that will make it attractive to the ideal clients that you have? You can, a lot of times when people ask questions, the FAQs that we come up with is, well, how long is it going to take me to get through this course? Or how
Right.
how fast can I do it? How much time do I have to commit to each day or each week? Those are the types of things that you have to decide on. And again, that comes back to talking to potential ideal clients and understanding what they want, but then also saying to yourself, how do I want to show up? Because if you don't show up in a way that's unique to you, the way you're designed, you're not going to be motivated, or you're not going to stay consistent at all. At all.
No,
No, you're
no.
not.
If you're doing it somebody else's other way, just because they're doing it, it's not going to be true to you, and you're not going to want to do it. You're going to start resenting it.
Right. And you
It's
can't like bend to each one of your new clients that comes in either.
No, you'll be
And
burnt out in no time. Believe me, I
yeah,
tried
so
it.
yes, you can't. Exactly. You have to say, well, this is how we do it. You have to bring them into your world, into your culture. And if they're not a fit, you have to be okay with that and let them go.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, because it's just not a fit. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not a good fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last two things that we need to work on are, one is our metrics. So, or I like to say our numbers. We
Mhm.
have to know those key numbers that will help us to know if we're successful. Like your email, or how many people are opening the emails, how many people are clicking on the links. Was that something that resonated with people? You have to know that and use that as feedback.
I also like what we go through every month. We go through the Google Analytics
Yeah.
and we look at the SEO. What
Mhm.
are people clicking on? What things do we need to keep, there? What things that we don't, that we can just let
Right.
go of? And I do metrics every week on my YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and seeing, and the podcast now, and seeing, did this topic resonate? Did people stay on? Did Was the title catchy? Did the thumbnail bring in people? What's the click-through rate, the CTR, and things like that? You
Yeah.
really need, these are measurements of success. If you have a goal, excuse me, to get in 10 people a month into your coaching, your program, whatever it is that happening? Are you getting 10
Right.
people? Have you reached out to the 100 people to get the 10 people? Because we all know it's 10%, right? Those kinds of things.
Exactly.
So whatever metrics will tell you that you are moving ahead, that you are, it's not just about, did I bring in $10,000 this month?
Right.
It's a
No,
lot of
it's
other things that you can be looking at.
Right. Yeah. That's often put out there and it drives me nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
the
not your only measurement.
right. That's not your only measurement. No. And there's so much more
Yes.
important things. But
Yes.
anyways, but you have to, speaking of money, you have to know your costs for doing business. You have to have a budget, know where your money's coming in and where it's going out. This is very important. And I
Yes.
know we've talked to so many clients who are like, oh, I don't even have my bookkeeping set, or it's a big thing because it's annoying and it's things we don't want to work on.
Right. Or we also get people that come in having bought something
Oh,
that they're not even ready
using
for.
or
Yeah,
they're
and they're
using.
using one
Oh,
sliver of the piece,
that drives me
and
nuts.
they could have done something free until they got to the point where they needed the bells and whistles
Oh,
of that service. And so it's really about, especially when you are trying to start out, or you have, like I even say, what is it, less than 1,000 followers in our
yeah.
CPM,
It,
what
in
is it,
the CRM,
CRM
but
in
even
our
yeah,
mail
email
email.
marketing,
Yeah,
email system, even just to make it
there are so many
general.
ways to do it for free until
Oh, I
you get
know.
growth. And once you get the growth, then you can look into these services that are paid. And yes, there are some things that are minimal, that you can do, like, having your Calendly set up so you can get people on a call with you
Right.
does cost you a little bit. But if you only do
It's
one
free.
call, it's free, right?
Right.
If you have two or three later on, then you want to get to the next level. So there's
Right.
all these things that I think you find some guru out there that says, hey, get Kajabi, which costs $1 bazillion, or some other service that costs, and they
Oh,
don't
I
need it
know.
yet.
Oh, I know. It drives me nuts. It's another thing that drives me nuts because I took an email marketing course and they're like, oh, you have to get ConvertKit and it's $29 a month. And it's like, we're using MailerLite for free. And
Yeah.
that's what we try to do. We tell you all in our community and everything, start with the free versions and then grow from there. We hear so many people who say, well, I wanted to use this functionality in the future, so I thought I'd get it. No, wait till you're ready to use that.
Yeah,
Don't.
because they've made it easy to transfer all that stuff.
Oh, I know. You can so easily upgrade. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Well, let me ask our listeners and our watchers, how are you feeling about these sections of the business plan? Are these things that you already know that you can answer with ease? I'd love for you to put down in the comments anything that you want about the who, why, where, when, why, how, or pieces of these elements in your business. Do you have all of them? So what do you need to work on more? What parts do you go, oh, I didn't realize that? What pieces have you overlooked? Let us know down in the comments.
Yeah. So far we've looked at the pieces of the one-page business plan and I got a little fired up, especially when talking about software.
Yes.
But we did have some questions that we're going to answer about how creating your business plan will help you monetize your genius the way God designed you.
Okay. So, Mary, let's go over these 4 questions. What were they
Okay.
again?
So the first one was, are you worrying each time you have a decision to make for your business? When things go sideways, and they will, do you have a way to shift and try again? Very important, very important. Are you listening to too many gurus out there telling you different ways to run a God-centered business? And the
Mm-hmm.
last one, are you trying to attain something that just always seems out of reach?
Okay, let's go through these systematically.
Yes.
Okay. So our first one was, are you worrying each time you have a decision to make for your business? So let me ask some other further questions. So people, you might want to get out a notebook and
Yeah.
write down some of these questions. So first of all is, what role does worry play in your business decisions already? Are you afraid that you're going to make the wrong choice when you're presented with an opportunity? Do you feel like you're stuck at times because you don't know which direction to go? So ask yourself these things and find out the root of this, because the biggest thing that I see with clients when they're stuck in this worry about making the wrong move is that they just have not gotten specific enough with who they are serving and how they are serving them.
Right. They're definitely too, their thinking is too big and they really have to narrow it down.
Right, because we all as Christians, we want to help all the
I
people do
know we
all the
do.
things,
We do.
but
But we
we
can't.
can't do that because that is a recipe for disaster. You have to get very specific about the thing that you can help others solve. What is that pain point? And we always say we have what we call the transformational statement, right? And you say this specific person is on their journey and they're having a problem at this place in the road. This is their pain, and they're seeking and searching for a solution that you have. And so you like swoop in like the knight in shining armor to say, I've got your solution. I think that's what happens. If we don't understand how we can swoop in, we get like, we get tripped up in, is this the right choice? Should I do this? And so,
Right.
we have to be able to say, I know how to solve their problem, and I have to get specific. So I don't
Right.
know.
Definitely, definitely. And if you think about it, just basically, who's your client? What problem do they have? How many times have they tried to solve the problem, and in what ways? And what brings them to their edge, their crisis
Oh,
point?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what do they need that will take them, over the edge to jump to your solution?
Now,
What is it?
not everybody is going to connect with you, but
Right.
those that are meant to work with you will hear
Yeah.
your message,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I really have found that the worry comes from being too diversified, trying to solve too many problems for those that you want to serve, and not really working on focusing on the one thing you do best, the thing that lies in your design. And we've been talking about in your genius zone, right? I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
that's where we need to be. We need to be doing that. And I know that's what Calling Clarity, the course, was all about, is me really being in my genius zone of helping people understand God's design for them. And now loving the fact that we have expanded that to include other things that not only I'm good at, but you're good at, and the other members of our community are good at. So
Right. Yeah.
you have more confidence when you know the specifics.
Definitely, definitely. And that's good to have that confidence because it goes to our next question. When things go sideways, do you have a way to shift and try again?
Okay, so I'm going to go deeper here a little bit. So get your pencil and paper out. Here's some more questions. What do you do when the results that you planned are not what is happening? And how do you keep moving forward in your business after a disappointment that something fails? What do you do when things are not working out?
Right, right. And, I'll be honest here. I've been there. You know that, Deneen.
Mm-hmm.
Deneen's like, I can't even talk to you right now because you're not in the right headspace. But you get these feelings and you just get in your head. You're disappointed. You could be frustrated, resentful. And these emotions, really blind you to any good that you might be doing, inside the experience. And it's so true, Deneen, because I was there. I
Oh,
was there,
yeah,
and
I know.
and you saw it in me.
I think a lot of times, again, we look at, did I accomplish the goal? And if you
Right.
didn't accomplish the goal, you don't even go back and look at the progress that you
I
made, the
know.
process that you've been through. And that's one of the things that we like to do a lot every week is we talk about accountability. We talk about the celebrating just the progress. Like, but look at what you did. And a lot of times we can't see it because we're stuck, like you said, they're stuck behind these
Mhm.
feelings of like, oh, and then of course
Uh,
the enemy wants to use that against us so that we give up and we don't do what God's asking us to do. And we think, well, it didn't work out, so it must not be God's will.
right.
No, that's not it.
Right.
I'm very big on reframing a situation. I have my little thing of a reframe the situation, trying to see past that result to really see the process. So instead of shutting down, leaving, procrastinating, we want to shift to something new. Keep trying. Remember, blue ocean people are innovative. That's what we have to do. So instead of shutting down, we have to say, okay, let me just do this pivot. Let me try. If it doesn't work, let me adjust it a little bit, and then let me go back and try again. That's the
Right.
type of thinking that you need to be doing. The reframe is, okay, I tried that. Let me shift a little bit, adjust it. Let me try again. Okay, it may work, it may not. That's why we love those. What is it? The split things that you do to
Yeah, A/B testing. So you
A/B
can try
testing.
to do try do two different things and see which one works, which one got better results, I should say.
Exactly. So there are tools out there to even help you to be able to do those types of things, but we can't just sit on our hands. And I think that's what's great about community is that we can bring that challenge to our mastermind, or they can bring, our clients can bring that to a Q&A and we can answer that, or we can put it in the Facebook group and ask for feedback and what other people have tried,
Right.
but if we don't have the business plan in place, there's no help, because that's where this helps us to do that try, adjust, and try, and that shift, because the one-page business plan is kind of like that snapshot of what you're doing it and the way you want to do it and the way that you best think you can do it, and your solution is unique to you, so you have an unfair advantage. All the stuff that you created for your solution is your intellectual property. And
Yeah.
so no one else has come up with it. So you can still make new intellectual property, come up with a new approach, something that does work, and not be afraid to keep trying.
Right. Yeah. Well, and many times though, we found women trying to do things that others have told them will work for them. And they're grasping at something, a methodology that really isn't aligned with their initial plans. So it doesn't work.
Oh yeah, everybody has their blueprint, everybody has their way to do it, and we try to like fit the square peg in the round hole.
Right, right. And then there's, well-meaning, friends or family that might be like, what if you should, or you should?
Oh,
And
we've had it, well, God gave me this download to tell you. I'm like,
right.
no, 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 I don't think so. Now, of course,
No,
you have to know your competition, but you're not supposed to copy your competition.
no.
In fact, like we said, if something doesn't work out as planned, it's good to go back and see in your business plan, review it, do a little bit more research, whatever you need, get all your ideas that you can know, not what you think you know. Because sometimes we write things in thinking we know it.
Right. Sometimes we do. And yeah, we don't.
Yeah, I mean, I the other day I just went back to the answer the public,
Oh,
and so I can do 3 questions a day kind
yeah.
of thing, right? I went to Chat GPT and I put something in there, the free version, did
Yep.
all these things just because I wanted to make sure, I wanted to know what were people asking about this topic, what types of things did because the Chat GPT even will come up with articles where they've pulled this, and then you can have the articles in your bookmark on your browser. And so it's always about continuing to do the research and continuing to talk to people, talk to
Right.
real potential clients.
Yes. Real people.
Real people,
Not
not what you think.
AI, not
Right.
or AI.
Right, or even thinking, well, I know what they're thinking. You don't know what they're thinking.
You
And
don't.
the better valuable content, better messaging you get is when you can reverberate back to them what they're actually saying, and they go, oh, they get me. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what
Yep.
I'm thinking. So that's
Yep.
great.
Yep.
It's really important to know your uniqueness. That's the key to really creating strategies that'll work for you. Don't be distracted or led away from how God has designed you. And again, I want to tell everybody, try, adjust, try again.
Yep.
That is the mindset. That is the growth mindset as well. So that leads into the next question. Are you listening to too many gurus out there telling you different ways to run your business?
Yes, and we know there's lots of gurus out there. There's lots of people out there.
I guess
Um,
we're gurus too.
no, we're not gurus.
Okay.
We're subject matter experts.
There you go. Love that. Subject matter experts. SMEs.
There
Okay.
you go. There you go. See, we just opened up a new market. Okay, so questions related to this issue are, and I've been there, do you have shiny object syndrome? Are you always finding and following the new method to do the business? Does the new idea excite you and distract you?
Ooh, I know we've listened to too many. When you do listen to too many people out there,
It's hard.
it's hard, but you're cutting off what God has already put inside of you.
Yeah.
He says that he will equip you for every work that he has you to do. So this makes me come back to the basic information about who you are, who you want to serve, and how you can best serve them by doing it in a way that is important to you.
Yeah.
That passion word, right? That
Yep.
passion word. Because when you're really focused on, I think, what's important to you, your key metrics become your guiding beacon. We just got done doing Springboard in our book
Yeah.
club. And the Springboard book was like, what is your definition of success? Right. And we have to know our KPIs, our key metrics are the things that are important to you. I want to make a big impact. We want to make a big impact. So our key metric is, can we get people in the door? Not our key metric is, are we making 5 figures every month? That's not
Right.
our key metric. We want
Right.
the impact, and we want to be biblical, and we believe that building those relationships and getting people in the door is what God is calling us to do. You have to know how you measure your success.
Absolutely. Definitely. It's not always going to be the way the world measures success.
Right. And if we keep following
Yeah.
all those gurus out there, we're not going to find what God really wants for us.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. So, and also, knowing your costs, knowing your budget, it really protects you from those who say you need to have all the bells and whistles.
We've said that already,
I
correct?
know, I know. So, yeah, decide. You have to decide on things and don't deviate from it. It saves you a lot of frustration in the future. And just trying to do things someone else's way.
I know. I mean, we've had clients that are still working through this process, but I remember being at the place where I was just so, many different revenue streams. I was getting paid to speak. I was getting paid to do workshops. I was getting paid for my networking membership. And it was just like, but it felt like I was $100-ing myself to death. Like I have an event here and it cost amount. I have an event for a workshop over here. And it's just like, when you really focus it and have that one thing that you are doing,
Yeah.
that one specific thing that you are doing, then if you're creating a transformation for somebody, you can charge more money, and you're not like, so like, I don't know, it's just so much energy to be able
It's
to get this out there in the
oh,
market, inviting people, doing this, doing that. Oh,
that's a lot of energy.
yeah.
And oh my gosh, I'm too tired for that kind of stuff.
I know. Now, some people might say, this seems like really basic things that you should know, you should think through when you're in business. But I would let everyone know, you would be surprised at how many people go into business and they just
Oh,
kind of do it by the seat of their pants, just thinking, oh, this is going to work.
oh, I know. I know. No, no, it's so true. It's so true. And maybe they are basic, but they're foundational.
That's the
Like,
big thing. I think people sometimes put the cart before the horse. They're not doing
yes.
the foundational work to really understand that when you do it, you work better, you have less stress, you have more confidence, all of these things. So
Yes.
it's truly important to take that time to dive into, think through, talk to people, do the research to make those concrete decisions. And that's really, this business plan is your map for success.
Yes, that's awesome. I love that. And we're at our last question,
Ooh,
Deneen.
okay, last question that
Last
we're going
one.
to tell.
Yeah. Are you trying to attain something that just seems always out of reach? And the questions to ask are you doing too much? Does your life have too many disjointed pieces? And is your business just something you do and not who you are? I love that one. I love that one.
Yeah. This is the real question here. The real question is, what do you want others to say about you? If they're talking about you, you have to be the one to drive the answer to that question. So your business plan reflects who you are. and how God has purposed you right now to do business, you're doing one of those many good things that he planned for you from Ephesians 2:10. He is guiding you right now to do this one good thing.
Yeah.
And once you've written out the business plan, then all you have to do is really just start living it out. And that's what you will be known for. And people always say, well, I don't want to be, I'm not selling me. You're always selling you, because
Yes.
the person who is attracted to you is not only attracted to what your UVP is and how you're different and how you're a blue ocean or an innovative, they're also because they like your personality.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
when something feels like it's out of reach to you, it really means that you're trying to do it in some way that is not authentic to you. You're not, quote unquote,
Right.
selling yourself. You think that you're not selling yourself. You have a solution. You are the one who is going to help them. So if you're trying to be somebody else, that's why everything seems out of reach.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so wise. That really is.
Yeah, I mean, the business plan is this written document of how you want to be viewed, because it contains all the pieces of you, because no two people can look the same. We can be similar to others, yeah, but not exact. I
No,
think
right.
that's totally what we have to realize in what we're doing, is that we have to stand out, especially like if someone's like in the health and wellness industry.
Yeah.
You've got to figure out specifics, and it has
Exactly.
to be exciting, and it has to really resonate with you before it can resonate with the people you're called to serve.
Right. That's so true. So true. So how do you get to this point? How do you get to know how do you fill out your business plan? First you have to get clarity on God's
Love that.
design of you. Very clarity. We're all about clarity here. Clarity around who he's asking you to serve, and clarity to understand what he's asking you to do in your business.
It is so true. And that means that first you have to take some time to work through, pray through, make decisions that are right for you based on what God's calling you to do. When you can write out each of these pieces, each of these areas, then you know how you're going to structure your business. Then you have planned for your success, right?
Yeah.
So I have three things we must do. One is to take time with God as the CEO, Chief Everything Officer for your business, by meeting with the boss each day. Make sure that you are journaling, praying, reading the Bible, all of those things.
Bible study. Yep.
Yes, exactly. Second, follow the vision that he's given you for your business and trust him for the results by getting clear on what he's asking you to do. That's what we want to help you do in the community, right? Get you clarity for the vision and clarity for the journey as we go along. Yeah. And third, to really create a business that highlights all your wonderful skills and abilities so that you shine for him through your business. And that's what we want to do in the community, is bring you into the equation. What genius do you have so that you can share in a workshop, share in our library with a masterclass, share on a panel discussion that we have. We have lots of ways for you to connect as well, so that you're getting the things you need, but also you're giving, because we really consider this a one another community. And we know that those one another verses in the Bible say things like to be devoted to encourage, to build up, to love, to teach, to appreciate, to put others first. There's all kinds of things there. And I really think that the community helps us and reminds us of this all the time. What's one of your favorite things that we do in the community that makes you really feel connected to others, Mary?
For me, it's the co-working. I love the co-working. I love showing up and just being there. Like I keep my camera on because I want to see and I want to be seen. Maybe it's from my past working in an office all the time, but I'm so used to it. So I just love there, being accountable and working together.
Yeah, and I love that too. And I love that in 2024 we're going to be doing it every week except
Yeah.
for a few vacation weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just a place to, be in the room, rubbing shoulders with one another and staying on our plan. I mean, the one-page business plan, as we've been talking about, is going to help you think through what you want your business to look like and create a successful business plan that's simplified and focused. And I think the co-working and other activities that we have in the Calling Clarity community help stay on track, help us if we need to try something, it doesn't work, and adjust. It helps us to bring that to someone to help us adjust so we can try again, give us encouragement, give us support, give us ideas and those things. And the co-working, I have found I've gotten so much done because we've been doing it, because I know that I'm showing up, and then I'm accountable to those women saying, yeah, I want to be a good model. So I want to be like, yeah, I got it done.
I know. I know. And Deneen, you do. You always get it done. You always get what you said, your accountability done.
Well, and the other part of that too is that you learn, what can I actually get done based on the week that I'm going to have, based on the day that I'm going to have. I think sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves. And I think in being in community, we learn how to progress and understand the process, and we get to have the wins with people, and it helps us to have that confidence to keep going, helps us to be consistent, it helps us to just grow as that person of integrity working with excellence in our businesses.
Right. And you're right. What you just said, like it helps you to know, like, what can I really get done? Like it helps you plan. It helps you with your planning. And I love the verse in Proverbs 21:5. Good planning and hard work lead to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts lead to poverty.
Okay.
That's so true.
Yes. And we have to remember, prosperity in God's economy is the feeling that you're doing what he's calling you to do. You're satisfied with the work that you're doing. You get your satisfaction because you're doing that work, and you find significance, and you can hold your head up with pride that that where God has you is exactly your genius zone, your place to be. And having that plan and thinking through that business plan, you get to do the things that he created you to do. I think that's so great. And I love that our community, that Calling Clarity community, helps to create a business and a business plan that can take away that worry, because it allows you to have a solid strategy that utilizes and monetizes your genius. So to find out more about the community and to see if it's the right plan to help you move forward with your business that God has you building, continue thriving with, we want to invite you to watch a webinar that we have. In this webinar, we're going to go over some strategies to connect with like-minded Christian women entrepreneurs, the art of effective collaboration, and how to cultivate your business really through community support. Okay. So
yes. So I was going to say, check out the link in this description below. You can sign up at any time, and that's convenient for you. And even if you can't make that time, you will receive the replay, so you can watch it at any time.
I love that. Love that. And it's kind of live-esque because I didn't really do a lot of editing. So you're going to get me. There's nobody else in the room. It's just going to be you and me. So, as I said with Ephesians 2:10, God created you as a one of a kind masterpiece. Let me say it correctly. There is no one else that can bring your part of God's plan into the world, because he's reserved it just for you. When you work in your business in the way that he's created you, inside a community that supports you in all areas, it allows you to really create a business that motivates you, that energizes you each and every day to do the work that God planned for you to succeed. So Do you know all the parts of your business plan? The problem you solve, who you solve it for, your unique solution, your unfair advantage, how to reach out to your potential clients, your means to measure all of that success, your competition, costs, and sources of income. Only when you have determined all of this can you really pursue the business with intentionality and without any more doubts.
Right. Yes.
Any other thoughts, Mary, before we end
Well,
up here?
I know that we've said a lot in this episode, but it really is simple. It's a one-page business plan. So really, it boils down to just those 7 pieces, and we can really help you out with it. So we invite you to check out what the Calling Clarity community can do for you. Again, in the description, you'll find the webinar link, and it talks about connection, collaboration, and cultivation, and how being inside of the right community can help you grow you and your business.
And remember to follow us here on the podcast if you're listening, or on YouTube. Subscribe. Make sure you're giving us reviews over on each comment about what you learned about the one-page business plan and how it can help you answer all those questions. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're over 1,000 people now. Yay! This is DeneenTB.
And I'm Mary Allure.
Have a great rest of your day. And as always, be filled to overflowing.